Imagine waking up at 6 a.m. and discovering your wife was giving your bank PIN to another man while calling you a walking ATM. That's exactly what happened to me. My name is Ricardo. I'm 34 years old, and today I'm going to tell you how a simple trip to CrossFit destroyed my 8-year marriage and how I discovered I was being used financially. If you want to know how I turned things around and what happened to them both, stay until the end, because this story will shock you. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel because you'll only find stories like this here. But before I continue telling my story and how it all happened, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'd love to hear where you're from. My name is Ricardo, and for 8 years I believed I had the perfect marriage. I work as a civil engineer and have always prided myself on providing a comfortable life for my family. My wife, Amanda, never had to work. She took care of the house and our 5-year-old twin daughters, Isabella and Sophia. I believed I was fulfilling my role as a provider and devoted husband. Amanda has always been vain and took great care of her body. 2 years ago, she started CrossFit at a gym near her home. I supported her completely, even paying the most expensive membership in town, $180 a month, because I wanted her to feel good about herself. I never imagined this decision would be the beginning of my nightmare. In the last few months, Amanda had completely changed. She started leaving home earlier, coming back later, was always on the phone, and when I asked her something, she would respond harshly. She called me annoying and controlling. I began to suspect, but I never imagined the extent of the betrayal that was to come. What I discovered that Saturday morning wasn't just a romantic betrayal. It was something much worse. I discovered that my own wife was using me as a personal bank to finance her life with another man. And worst of all, she thought I would never find out. It was a Saturday, 6 a.m. I woke up earlier than usual because I had a construction site to visit. Amanda was still asleep, or so I thought. I went to take a shower, and when I came out, I heard low voices coming from the living room. I thought it was the girls watching cartoons, but it was too early for them to be awake. I tiptoed down the hallway, and what I saw shocked me. Amanda was sitting on the couch, her back to me, talking on the phone to someone. She was whispering, but I could hear her perfectly. "The PIN is 2847, honey. He has $15,000 in his checking account. You can withdraw $2,000 today and he won't even notice." My world fell apart at that moment. I felt my heart race and my hands begin to tremble. I remained hidden, needing to hear more. Amanda chuckled and said, "He's my walking ATM, Bruno. He works like a madman and I use the money however I want. After class today, we'll meet at the motel." Bruno. That name sounded familiar. He was the CrossFit instructor at her gym. A handsome, muscular 28-year-old who was always posting shirtless photos on Instagram. Amanda always commented on him, saying he was a dedicated professional and that he was transforming his body. I stood frozen for a few seconds. I couldn't process that the woman I'd shared my bed with for 8 years was planning to rob me and her lover. I felt a mixture of anger, sadness, and despair I'd never experienced before. My mind raced, thinking of all the times Amanda had asked for money for personal expenses. For the past 6 months, she'd been constantly asking for extra money. $500 for beauty products, $300 for workout clothes, $200 for supplements. I always gave it without question because I trusted her. Now I understood where all that money was going. I was funding my own wife's betrayal. Amanda continued, "It's Saturday. He's leaving early for work. We can meet at 9 a.m. Oh, and don't forget to delete the messages from your phone. We can't let him off the hook." She laughed again, as if it were a joke. I continued listening, trying to control my breathing so as not to make any noise. Amanda was telling her lover intimate details of our lives. "He doesn't suspect a thing, Bruno. Just yesterday I transferred $800 from his account to mine and said it was for groceries." The idiot believed me immediately. Each word was like a stab in the chest. I realized Amanda wasn't just emotionally betraying me. She was committing a crime: theft, card misuse, unauthorized access to my bank account. My engineering mind began to calculate. How many thousands of dollars had she already embezzled from our account? "Bruno, honey, you have to be patient. In a few months I can get a bigger sum and we can travel to Miami just like you dream. I'm going to tell him I need money for a beauty course. He's such a fool he'll believe it," Amanda said, laughing. At that moment I understood this wasn't just a fling. They had plans for the future, plans that involved my money, all my hard work, all the overtime I put in, all the weekends I worked thinking about my family's well-being. It was all being used to finance this betrayal. Amanda continued, Today I'm going to withdraw another $2,000. Half goes to me and half goes to you like we agreed. And next week I'm going to ask him to increase my credit card. I'm going to make up a story about the girls needing clothes for school. My daughters. She was using our daughters as an excuse to steal money. I felt a rage I never imagined I would feel. How could a mother do this? How could a wife be so cruel and calculating? What shocked me most was the coldness with which Amanda planned everything. There was no regret in her voice, only practicality. She had turned our marriage into an automatic withdrawal operation, where I was the idiot worker and she was the smart beneficiary. I have to go. Ricardo is waking up. I'll see you in a bit, love. I love you, Amanda whispered before hanging up the phone. Amanda quickly put away her phone and lay down on the bed, pretending to sleep. I returned to the bathroom and spent a few minutes trying to process everything I'd heard. My body was shaking with nervousness and anger. I needed to act, but I also needed to be smart. If I confronted Amanda right now, she'd deny everything and probably erase the evidence. I decided to pretend I didn't know anything and start gathering evidence. I went back to the room and Amanda opened her eyes, pretending to be waking up. "Good morning, love. Are you working today?" she asked in her usual sweet voice. How could she be so fake? "Yes, I will. I need to check out the construction downtown." "What are you doing today?" I asked, testing whether she would lie to my face. Amanda smiled and said, "I'm going to CrossFit at 9. Then I need to do some shopping at the mall. Can you spare me about $300? I need to buy cleaning supplies and some things for the girls." There she was again, asking for money with the utmost naturalness in the world. Cleaning products cost a maximum of $50 and she knew it. The rest would be for her and her lover. "Sure, love, I'll transfer it to you later," I replied, forcing a smile. I ate breakfast in silence, watching Amanda interact with our daughters. She played, laughed, helped Isabella eat. She seemed like a perfect mother, a devoted wife. How could someone have two such distinct personalities? During the day, she was the loving wife, but behind the scenes, she was plotting to steal me away with her lover. Before I left, I hugged Amanda and said, "I love you so much, you know that, right?" I wanted to see her reaction. She hugged me back and replied, "I love you too, Rick. You're the best husband in the world." Another blatant lie. I left the house heartbroken, but determined to uncover the extent of the betrayal. In the car, I began to think about everything I needed to do. First, review my bank statements from the past few months. Second, hire a private investigator to document the betrayal. Third, talk to a lawyer about my rights. All the way to the construction site, I couldn't stop thinking about Amanda's coldness. 8 years of marriage, 2 daughters, a life they'd built together, and she was throwing it all away for a gym instructor 6 years her junior. The worst part was knowing she saw me only as a source of money. I arrived at the construction site, but I couldn't concentrate. I asked the construction foreman to take over the inspections and went to a nearby cafe with my laptop. I needed to check my bank account immediately. I accessed online banking, and what I saw made me even more angry. Over the past 6 months, Amanda had made withdrawals and transfers totaling $18,000. $18,000. Withdrawals of $500, $800, $100 or $200, always at times when I was working. Transfers to an account I didn't recognize, probably Bruno's. I analyzed each transaction. Many coincided with her CrossFit days. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, the exact days of her classes. It was a clear pattern. Amanda withdrew money before or after workouts and certainly gave some to her lover. What revolted me most were her excuses. I remembered several occasions when Amanda asked for money for expenses that never actually occurred. $1,000 to renovate the girls' bathroom. The bathroom remained the same. $800 for private medical appointments. She never saw a doctor. $600 for cooking lessons. She barely knew how to fry an egg. Every lie was documented in my statements. I had saved every conversation where she asked for money, thinking I was being an organized husband. Now those conversations were proof of the fraud my wife was committing against me. I called my bank and requested all detailed statements from the last 12 months. I also asked to temporarily block Amanda's additional cards. I claimed I'd lost the cards, but in reality, I was trying to stop her from stealing from me. While waiting for the bank documents, I called a lawyer friend, Dr. Marcos, who had previously helped me with construction contracts. I briefly explained the situation, and he advised me to document everything before taking any action. "Ricardo, you need solid evidence. Recordings, photos, statements. Without it, it will be your word against hers in a potential divorce." Dr. Marcos also warned me about something I hadn't considered. If she has access to your bank passwords and is making unauthorized transactions, this could be considered a crime. You can file a police report. This possibility hadn't even crossed my mind. I decided to hire a private investigator that very day. I searched online and found an agency specializing in marital infidelity cases. I scheduled a meeting for early afternoon before Amanda returned from CrossFit. At 2 p.m., I was at the private investigation agency's office. The detective, a 50-year-old man named Carlos, listened to me attentively and said that cases like mine were more common than I imagined. Mr. Ricardo, we're going to document everything. I need you to continue acting normally at home while we gather the evidence. Carlos explained that we would need at least 2 weeks to gather enough material: photos of the affair, recordings of conversations, proof of suspicious spending. Everything would be legally documented for use in a potential divorce proceeding. The most important thing now is that you don't confront your wife. If she suspects she can delete evidence from your phone and even accuse you of domestic violence to turn the situation around, Carlos advised. I returned home late in the afternoon, pretending it had been a normal workday. Amanda was in the kitchen preparing dinner, wearing a new outfit I didn't recognize, probably bought with the money she'd withdrawn that morning. "How was your day, love?" Amanda asked, kissing me on the cheek. Her hypocrisy made me nauseous. "It was busy, but that's okay. How about yours?" "How was training?" I replied, trying to sound natural. "Oh, it was great. Bruno said I'm improving a lot. He's an incredible teacher, very dedicated," Amanda said with a sparkle in her eyes that I hadn't seen in a long time when she spoke to me. During dinner, I watched Amanda interact with the girls. Isabella told them about a school activity, and Sophia showed them a drawing she'd made. Amanda laughed, complimented them, and seemed genuinely interested. How could someone be so loving to her daughters yet so cruel to her husband? After the kids went to bed, Amanda came over to me on the couch and said, "Rick, I need to talk to you about something." My heart raced. Was she going to confess? Had she discovered that I knew? "What's up, honey?" I asked, trying to keep my voice calm. Amanda took a deep breath and said, "I want to take a beauty course. It's an incredible opportunity, but it costs $3,500. I know it's a lot of money, but it could be a new career for me." There she was again, making up an excuse to get more money. A $3,500 beauty course that probably didn't even exist. I thought quickly and decided to test how far she would lie. "A beauty course? That's interesting, honey. Where would that be?" I asked, feigning genuine interest. Amanda didn't hesitate. "It's at Dr. Fernanda's school, the one in the South Zone. Very reputable. Bruno recommended it to me. He knows the owner of the school." Of course, Bruno was the one who suggested it. Everything in her life revolved around him now. "And how long is the course?" I continued. 3 months with classes on Saturdays. I'll have to leave home early on Saturdays, but it's worth it for our future," Amanda replied. Saturdays were the days she usually went out to see her lover. Now she had the perfect excuse to spend the whole day away from home. Her creativity in lying was impressive. "I'll research that school tomorrow and get back to you, okay?" she said. Amanda looked a little nervous. "Oh, but Rick, applications close on Monday. If you could just decide soon. I don't want to miss this opportunity." Psychological pressure. Another manipulation technique. Creating urgency so I wouldn't have time to check if the course actually existed. "It's okay, honey. You can count on me. I'll transfer the money Monday morning," I replied. Amanda's smile was one of pure satisfaction. She hugged me and said, "You're amazing, Rick. I don't know what I would do without you." The irony was almost comical. She really wouldn't know what to do without me. Without my money, at least. That night, Amanda was particularly affectionate. She insisted on watching a movie with me, brought popcorn, and clung to my arm. Typical behavior of someone with a guilty conscience trying to compensate for the guilt with false affection. During the movie, her phone vibrated several times. Amanda discreetly checked her messages and smiled. It was surely Bruno arranging the next dates financed with my $3,500. When we went to sleep, Amanda was more intimate than she had been in weeks, but I couldn't feel anything but disgust. How could she touch me knowing that just hours earlier she'd been with another man? How could she lie while looking into my eyes? I pretended to be tired and turned over. Amanda whispered, "I love you, Rick." One more lie before bed. On Monday morning, I called Detective Carlos and told him about the $3,500 beauty course. He laughed and said, "Perfect, Mr. Ricardo. Let's use that money as bait." transfer it normally and watch where it goes. I also called Dr. Marcos and reported the previous night's conversation. He instructed me to record all future conversations where Amanda asked for money. Ricardo, this is marital fraud. Every lie she tells to get money is further evidence in the case. Before leaving for work, I transferred the $3,500 to Amanda's account as promised. She thanked me profusely and said he was the most wonderful husband in the world. If only she knew my every word was being recorded. During the day, Carlos sent me the first set of photos. Amanda and Bruno leaving the gym together, entering a motel in the city, and embracing at the reception. The images were clear and left no doubt about their relationship, but what shocked me most was a photo of them at a mall. Bruno was wearing a new gold chain and Amanda was carrying several bags from expensive stores. They were spending my money like it was a lottery prize. Late in the afternoon, Carlos called me with even more serious information. Mr. Ricardo, I discovered that Bruno has gambling debts. He owes more than $20,000 to loan sharks. Your wife is not only being deceived by a charmer, she is financing a gambling addict. That explained a lot. Amanda's rush to get money, the ever-increasing sums, the psychological pressure. It wasn't just luxury and pleasure. It was financial desperation. Bruno was using Amanda, and Amanda was using me to solve his problems. When I got home, Amanda was ecstatic. Rick, you won't believe this. I got a scholarship for the course. I'll only pay $1,500. I can use the rest to buy the necessary materials. More lies. She had withdrawn the entire $3,500 and made up the scholarship story to keep the difference. So lucky, love. You deserve it. I replied, recording everything. Amanda hugged me and said, I'm starting the course next Saturday. It means I'll leave early and come back late, but it's for our future. Our future. She talked about the future while destroying our present. That night, I pretended to be happy for her achievement, and even suggested we celebrate with a bottle of wine. I wanted Amanda to feel confident enough to continue revealing her plans. 2 weeks later, I had enough evidence to expose the entire charade. Photos of the betrayal, recordings of the lies, and bank statements proving the embezzlement of $25,000 over 8 months. Dr. Marcos assured me that I would have a clear advantage in the divorce proceedings. On a Tuesday morning, I confronted Amanda with all the evidence. I laid out the photos on the kitchen table, played the tape recorder of our conversations, and showed her the bank statements. Amanda turned white, tried to deny it, then cried, then threatened me. But the evidence was irrefutable. What struck me most was when I asked her why she had done it. Amanda replied, You were only good for paying the bills. Bruno made me feel like a real woman. 8 years of marriage reduced to one function, paying bills. Today, 2 years later, I'm divorced and have joint custody of my daughters. Amanda lost her right to alimony due to the proven fraud, and Bruno disappeared when he learned the taps had run dry. If you've made it this far, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell. Your story can be told here too.